Hello, everyone. Welcome to the new episode of No Office Podcast. Today, we'll talk about New Year's resolutions, goals, tips, and tricks, how to uh, do the new year, new me thing, how to make it your best year ever, and how to not stress about it. And what we have learned over the years, how we did manage to make our years the best ever. Hello, Magda.
Hello, welcome to 56th episode. The time flies.
Oh, yes, it does. And this is
So, today
2025. Happy
we
New
would
Year.
yeah, happy new year. New year. Let's see is it the really best time for mm, bringing changes and doing all those new year's resolutions? Is January 1st or the first half of January a good time? According to me and my research, there is like the one on one hand it's good because it has this ritualistic element, and it gives you some, like, okay, new year, new me, let's start. Many people do this, so maybe it can work. But on the other hand, 1st or 5th of January is the same day as any other day, so really it's best to introduce changes and to follow the moment. When I feel that I really need something, or when I feel that I miss something, or when I find out something and then say, yes, I want to follow it, then it's good to do this, because your changes and your motivation and then the persistence of doing something is best when you do it when you are totally ready, when the thing is totally yours, and when you feel this goal or this project with your whole self. That's what I think.
All right. I kind of agree, but not really, because sometimes you just need a nudge. And for me, action motivates action. So, anyway, Happy New Year, Mike St. Pierre, who's also a listener right now. So, Mike, have a great one. And yeah, the thing is, people like the closure of one year and then, the beginning of the new year. Also, after the, gluttony and lots of food of Christmas, and it's good to start anew. It's good to, get back. Um, and I think it's good to close something, a chapter, a year, and then start a new one. And this is how I've always approached this. And I haven't been stressing about it much, but I enjoy the closure of the year. And I enjoy, well, yes, I do enjoy also planning of the new year and like kind of aspiring to a better me, to a better year, to better things.
So this is this kind of ritual for you.
Oh, completely. Yes. I always, like, basically, the whole January for me is kind of this month of reflection and preparing for the new year. Also, in the meantime, I do have to do things that I have to do. Like I have to record this podcast and I have to, be the CEO of Nozbe and also get us ready for our 18th celebration of Nozbe in the next month. Um, so I do have to work on the normal things, but I do enjoy reflecting on and closing the last year and preparing the new year.
Hmm. Yeah, I think maybe it depends on the type of person you are, or like personality, or your psychological construction. Because I don't know, from my experience, I see that my approach, like with following and mm, going, mm, when you really feel something and when you find something and then you fall in love with it, it works better for me. But that's, yeah, probably how I am. It's difficult for me to sit down, imagine, plan, do everything theoretically, and like really focus and go deep inside myself. I'm going to work on it. I'm going to share it with you later on. But for example, last year I said to myself that, wow, I'm getting older, but I still would like to have one more degree and experience again being a student. And I go just went on the internet. I found the uni that I was interested in. It's not far from my home, and then I found the, like the profile, and just signed up. And now I'm doing that and I'm doing great and I'm a very good student. So it worked for me this way, not planning, okay, next year I'm going to do my extra degree. No, it was a spur of a moment.
Now you're a student, like back, like you just like young again.
Yeah, it feels like.
Young as always. Yes, it's great. And good day, Robert. Also, here's among listeners today. Yeah, for I remember one of the authors of like one of the best-selling authors. Uh, he said, I don't remember who it was, but I remember his quote that he only writes when he's inspired. Luckily, the inspiration strikes every day at 9 a.m. Means
Sharp.
basically, exactly, which means basically he has a routine to write, and for him, just the act of writing inspires him to write better. And I am kind of the same way. That's why, for example, I am this kind of person that I prefer in the morning to do smaller tasks to get going, to give some feedback, to do smaller things, so that when like I'm warmed up, then I can tackle the big, the big rocks, the big. I can eat the big frog
Hmm.
during in the middle of the day when I'm warmed up, when I'm ready for more action. And it's the same thing with the New Year's resolutions and New Year planning and New Year reflection. I I prefer to to do this whole process of closing out the last year, so that I can see what I should focus on next year, what I should drop, and how I should act.
Hmm. Yeah, so everyone prefers different way, but it's good when it works for you.
Oh yeah.
The second point I wanted to touch is some some theory, and there are different words like resolutions, goals, changes, projects. I think like resolutions, it's a little bit aggressive word, and it indicates that there's maybe some we are imposing something on ourselves. With resolutions, we try to satisfy this part of ourselves, like this super ego, this something that is the image of ourselves that is created by the external world. So I think like resolutions associate to me to doing something that is expected from us, or that
Hmm.
maybe we are guilty into, or that we are just, like this to quiet the nagging voice of conscious, something from the outside. But when I think of a change or improvement or even growth, it sounds better.
I also like recently the word iteration, which means like it's
Ah,
a new version, iteration. Like like with Nozbe, we have new version coming to our customers every week or every other week, so every 2 weeks. There is an iteration. There is always a better version, always an
yeah, okay,
improved
like the
version.
next step. Hmm.
Exactly. So it's like not new year, new me. It's more like new year, improved me. Uh, and um, I think we should all focus on improving ourselves really for ourselves. Like as you said, we shouldn't look at others and what others are expecting of us, but what we are expecting of us. It's like when I mean, I like sports, as you know, I like triathlons, but I'm an amateur triathlete. I'm not going to be a world champion or a Olympic champion anymore. Um, Too late. I'm sorry for that, but not too late to do the sports. And you always compete with yourself, basically. So when you're amateur, like the idea is that you compete with yourself. You try to be better at doing something, and also when you're a true amateur sports person, you try to have more fun each time. Like
Exactly.
it's
Yeah.
like you try to enjoy it more. It's like with me playing tennis, and I started a few years back. Now I'm good enough so that people who have played their entire life tennis, they when they play me, they still win, but they really have to sweat to get it. So and I enjoy it. I enjoy playing against them. I enjoy being challenged, I'm just having fun. And this is for me the improved version.
Yeah, I think we all have enough of duties and commitments, so it's not worth making your plans or goals another duty. It should be kind of fun and something pleasant.
Also,
I
something I
th-
discovered
uh,
about myself is that I am not that competitive. I think I think that's
no,
why it's good. that's why it's good I'm not the CEO of a big, Fortune 500 company, because then I would have to be really competitive. And by being a CEO of a small company, uh, I I like to do what I do. I like enjoying what I do. I also I'm an achiever, so I like to achieve things. But yeah, I see many of my friends who are just much more competitive when we play tennis or we ride bikes or whatever. They're like, and I'm like,
Yeah, you have the distance.
yes.
Hmm. Also, like another idea of getting these New Year's things, goals, changes, resolutions is I think Mark Manson, he follows this idea. It's not goal, it's not a project, it's theme. So every year has a theme for them. Like I don't know, like a theme of something. It's also a nice approach because then you can also engage other people to follow this theme and work on something related to this topic or theme with you. I think it's more like less pressure, less stress. Maybe if you go for a theme.
Yeah, I mean, I have seen that approach in some people, like they're having a theme for a year, like a new theme. Or I remember Chris Brogan did something like 3 words for next year. So like these 3 words are the theme for
Okay, so
um,
he thinks up words
yeah,
and
three
then
words, three distinct words. Like
oh,
for example, let's say love, commitment, improvement. Let's say, right, and then this is what it is. It's like his guiding force, like these three
okay,
words,
so
and
it's
then
nothing concrete. It's more like abstract words,
as you
right?
said, it's
Like
like a theme. It's like also a
mm-hmm,
theme building thing. Like these
mm-hmm,
3 words construct like the most important. Yeah, the theme for
mm-hmm.
next year. So, um, some people do that, and I have tried. I think a few years back do that as well. But in the end, for me, the theme. I don't
It's
know.
not structured enough.
No, no, no.
Hmm.
I prefer to have like more, more projects, tasks, and comments approach. So more projects, more goals, something like that. But also, as we mentioned, um, not to stress about it. So like the journey is the ultimate destination. So like the improved version of me, even if I don't achieve some goal, if I have moved forward, it's already for me a win.
Mm-hmm. Okay, now I was thinking which resolutions or goals uh, we usually don't manage to implement. And when I was thinking about it, I found out that they are mostly the stuff that is not aligned with ourselves. It's not
Hmm.
ours. It's not aligned with our values or something that we are really into, that we don't have thrills when we think of it. That might be this, because if we take something from outside, as we said before, if something that is imposed on us or something that we think we should uh, do, then the motivation and the whole psychological aspect of introducing this change can be really like weakened. So I think that if something is really mine, it will be much easier to implement and to introduce and to work on and to make effort on.
I'm gonna say something very deep right now, so watch out.
Ooh.
Know thyself. So really you have to know yourself, really. And sometimes it's always like people say, don't don't do what I say, do what I do, right? So you look at your actions. That's why we'll go to the next step now, the review of last year. It's so important to me. It's important to me to review last year, to because then, only then, I see what I've really done, why some things I haven't achieved well, why some things I did do, or which things were fun and which were not. Because this way you can know yourself, and you can, your actions speak louder than words. And you can keep telling yourself, like, I want to do this, I want to, I don't know, run a marathon while you hate running. you know
Yeah, or I should do
oh,
this.
I should run a
Did.
marathon.
Hmm.
It's like my favorite part is like, I'm 42. So 42 is 42 kilometers of marathon. I have to do a
Ooh.
marathon today, this year, you know. And I'm not 42, I'm 45, but like the, you know, people who are 42 do very often do that. You know, they associate this number
Oh
and
no,
whatever.
that's me. I have to run marathon this year then.
No, you don't have to do anything,
Oh,
Magda, really. Not especially with your knee. You shouldn't. But this is the thing. People are forcing themselves to do something because, you know, and then they see that they're not doing it, that or they're very reluctant to do it, or they, you know, avoid doing something. And then that's why it's really important to know yourself, to really, you know, reflect on last year.
yeah, and the worst idea is to take that project that we couldn't tackle last year and automatically put it on this year's list. This is like failure, 100% failure, because you didn't even reflect on why you didn't start working on it, why you avoided this topic. Apparently, there must have been something that stopped you. And if you don't reflect and just move it to your this year's list, surely you will just suffer and you will be disappointed with yourself. So don't do it. If you have projects that you didn't manage to start even, or you started but you were really reluctant with it, then it's worth going into this project or goal and finding out why. Isn't it yours? What was wrong with it?
Completely. No, that's why, you know, it's okay not to copy paste something. It's okay to decide, okay, I haven't accomplished that last year, and I'm not gonna. I'm out. I'm like, you know, the more I'm right now, you know, middle aged man. I start to understand that one of the freedoms that we have, and you know, one of our values in Nozbe is freedom, is that you can always walk away. So if somebody like wants to insult you, you can just walk away. Like, I'm not gonna take it. Like, bye bye. And also, with the tasks, you know, you impose something on yourself. You wanted to do something, it didn't happen. Decide again. Like, you can
Be honest with
decide,
yourself.
be honest with yourself and decide again. Do I really want to do it? You know, it's like with Marie Kondo and Joy No Joy, right? Does it bring you joy? Does it not bring you joy? Like, or like, if I were to choose it again today with all everything I know, would I choose it again? You know, would I want to do this again? Would I want to accomplish this again? Or maybe I want to do something else. And also, in the same aspect, is the question of trade-offs. If you want to do different things, more things, or if you're curious about something else, well, something has to go. It's you know, there are trade-offs. So that's why, uh, I give you all, our listeners, I give you all my blessing to just abandon things, from last year. Like, you're
Mhm.
okay, you're gonna be fine. And that's why, for example, in Nozbe, in the app, I remember, we insisted that we, in the new Nozbe, we introduced the, action to abandon a task.
Yeah,
Like,
not
it,
complete,
not complete,
not
but
delete, but
no,
just abandon.
abandoned. Like, it's, you know, it's abandoned. Like, you know, you don't want to do it, it's fine. It's registered in the system. There was an attempt, but for some reason we decided to abandon it, and we're done. If you want to
Yeah,
get back
maybe
to it, we
one
can find
day.
it.
Yeah, maybe one day you can come back to this, but you don't
You
have
can,
to.
exactly, you can find it in brilliant Nozbe search. You can find this old task and maybe pick it up again, but for now you're abandoning it and it's done.
Yeah, if you forced yourself to do things that are not aligned with you and that you are not into, then you will be just disappointed and you will waste a lot of time and a lot of energy for instead of putting it somewhere when it could work.
Mhm.
So yeah, don't be afraid to abandon things, to change things. If you already have a plan, then as the time goes, don't be afraid to modify it. Be
Mhm.
elastic. Your plan doesn't have to be so hermetic and so concrete. You can also always change the direction a little bit. Yeah, like I'm not a goal person, as I said. I'm more into directions,
Mhm.
and if one direction isn't so perfect, then I can go left or go right a little bit, or have a plan B or plan C, just not to be disappointed. That this is what I'm really afraid of. That I will be if I don't do something, then I will be disappointed, and my self-esteem will go down.
Hmm.
So yeah, I think this is the good approach, and to 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 be okay with it.
Yeah, completely. Um, so uh, the the way I review last year. So I mean, you can see my yearly reviews. Uh, I publish them transparently on my website at michael.team/year. So you can go there to see all my yearly reviews. I've done that for the
Mhm.
last, I don't know, 10 or more years. And when I start, I start with the calendar. Actually, I reviewed the calendar from last year, like all the events that happened, everything that happened,
Mhm.
and I write down how I felt about it, or if I had a new idea or what I felt about it. So this is kind of my reflecting on last year. Also, to remind myself how
But
many
these
things
are
happened,
like work events or your personal
everything,
events?
the whole
Everything.
calendar,
Mhm.
the whole
Mhm.
me, the whole me.
Mhm.
And I love it because it's like I go through all the events. Also, if I go through a month and I haven't read my journal from that month, because I also journal, as you know, I have a journaling app shortcut. So I also read the journal entries from that month, and then this way I go month by month, and have my notes based on that. And
Mhm.
this way, um, I get, kind of, I have the whole year in a nutshell, really. So this is what I do. I reflect on that, and also I look at my statistics, some of the stats, like how many kilometers I did on the cycle, on the bicycle, on the how many I've, how much running did I do, or all that stuff.
Mhm.
So I review also my stats. Also, I check my business stats and stuff, and but as I mentioned, I mean, the statistics more or less I know, because I'm reviewing them basically every week when I do my weekly review. But it's good to just go back to the whole, to read about your whole year, to just again think about the themes that happened, things that happened, and how you felt, and how I felt, how I what I did, what I didn't do, and and also appreciate like the year that I've had. Even though, for example, last year was pretty tough for me, but in the end, it worked out pretty fine, and I'm really happy about it. But again, the ups and downs. This is how our journey
Mhm.
goes.
And do you use this method with the circle of life, that you have a circle and like every piece of this circle is a aspect of your life, like personal life, work development, money, family, friends, or something like this? Or you don't have this method?
Not really. I have certain roles. I have the role of being the CEO of this company. I have a
Mhm.
role of being a father and a husband. I have a role of sports person.
Okay. So
so I have
what you
my
sit
hobbies.
down and you analyze
Yeah, what I
yourself
did.
and you
Yeah, yeah,
uh-huh.
yeah. What I did in these roles. Also, I like traveling. So as a traveler, I also see where I went. What I saw,
Mhm.
uh, um, and also I decided this year to publish, for example, how many books I read. Spoiler, not many, 14, but still 14 books. And also as a reader, I also do that, and
Mhm.
check how many books I want to read next year, what I want to read, and all that stuff. So um, uh, these roles come naturally. I mean, just naturally come out of my calendar and out of my and I know that some people are like analyzing these roles more. Should I be, more dad? Like, what I can do better as a dad, or better as the CEO and everything. And I think I kind of do similar thing, in that sense, that I really always reflect on that. Like, have I done enough, or have I done enough of a good job as this in this role, or is there something I should do better, or I would like to do better in that role.
Mhm. I'm jealous that you can keep the structure and follow this New Year review, like no past year review, so nicely. I have problems with sitting down and devoting quite a lot of time to reflecting on myself, on how can I improve, or what did I wrong, I did well. Probably that will be one of my goals or directions this year, to be able
Challenges.
to, yeah, challenges, yeah, to be able to, yeah, to spend more time on improving myself, like theoretically, on reflecting, on
Hmm.
thinking. Also, I think writing will help me a lot,
Yeah.
because probably writing on some topics would, I don't know, like maybe, motivate me to go even deeper and to reflect more thoroughly. But I remember, like, I'm experimenting and I use different methods every year practically. But I really like this, the idea with this circle of life thing, because then you have these aspects and you can reflect on how you did in those, yeah, aspects, roles. I think it's really something similar. And then you choose several aspects on which you would like to focus the most in the new year, and you set yourself some goals or some directions specifically in those aspects. I think it's a nice structure and nice, um, yeah, like a help, a good help when you don't know how to start, and you are not like myself, a project person, goal person, and someone who notes down progress, statistics, and stuff. I'm more of a doer, so
Hmm.
it's hard for me to sit down and reflect and analyze a lot. But this method, it's really useful and helpful. Yeah. So what else you do to summarize your year and be able to set goals or directions for the new year?
I mean, I also did something very cool this year with my family. Is that we all have sat down, and we sat down and we went through our photos from last year. And
Hmm.
I like doing that, and I encourage everyone to do that. Like have an evening, instead of a movie night, like have a photo night, and just go through the photos, because we take so many pictures now. Like digital pictures are free, so you just take pictures of everything. So it's great to do that. And what we do additionally, which I really recommend, is later we choose our best photos. And from these best photos, we choose the 12 photos that will go into our calendar for next year. And we order online, like a printed calendar, a wall calendar with our 12 favorite photos, and it's glorious. Like, we love this calendar. It's on our fridge
Amazing.
in our kitchen, and always, like, we see this picture like for the whole month, the picture of us being somewhere or doing something cool, something nice. We try to choose different places. We try to choose different people we're with. Sometimes it's the whole family, sometimes it's the family with some other people, with a bigger family, or with friends, or sometimes
Hmm.
it's not the entire family, but some of us with some, like, it depends. But we just try to choose the 12 coolest photos, which is really hard.
Yeah, I
But
can imagine.
but like, I mean, again, it's for you. Like, there's no stress about it. Like, there are no awards. Really, it's like, so I really encourage to do that, everyone, and people who come to our house, when they see the calendar, because again, it's in the kitchen, it's on the fridge, and they're like, ah, this is so cool, this is so nice. And but yeah, but we do it completely for ourselves. It's always fun. So again, one of this is also a part of me reflecting last year, especially, seeing the travels we've done, the things we've done together as a family or as me. I mean, it's great. So
Yeah,
another
that's
tip
nice.
for you.
Yeah, my daughter has, like, every year she receives an album like that from her grandma. So, like, every year she has the photos of herself printed out.
Mhm.
Because it's true, you are totally right. Like, before, when we were supposed to develop and print out the photos, you had those albums, and
Yeah.
then when there was a boring family meeting and there was no topic to discuss, then you said, oh, maybe we can watch photos, and then
Yes.
there was this album that was placed on the table and everyone was watching, and it was kind of physical. And now, when you have your photos all the time with you and you can take a look on Facebook or Instagram, this magic disappeared. But with the physical albums or like diaries like that with your photos and histories printed out, it's cool. Another tip or a game or I don't know, game, is what I did, because Okay, after your yearly review, you are supposed to plan. And
Yeah.
how do you usually plan? When you are a person like Michael, like a structured person, goal person, then what you do is probably you visualize yourself in 5 years, or you can see your like long-term goals probably easily. In my case, I don't know, probably it's, I don't know, it stems from my psychological problems or uncertainty, but or anxiety, but I can't be brave enough to imagine myself in what I will be or what I could be in 10 years. So I can't do those goals, long-term goals. I don't dare to do this. But what I did with my family lately is we said, okay, let's take a piece of paper and let's think we are totally rich. We have unlimited resources, unlimited money, unlimited power, unlimited everything. And just list the things that you would like to do, that you would like to own, that you would like to be, and just write them down. Don't worry, be crazy, let your fantasy fly, and just I did it. And then after reading this list several times, I said that, like, I saw that some of those points, those crazy points, could really be those long-term goals, because I dared to to do something like to visualize myself somewhere. So for people shy or like disturbed like me, this is a great game and tool to prepare yourself for setting goals or setting the directions for the new year.
I think it's a great idea. I think an idea where like you can ask your family like what would you want to do if like if the resources, if the money was not an issue, like what would you want to do, what would you want to see, who would you want to meet? Like
Hmm.
my 8-year-old, she would like to go to LA and meet all the YouTubers that she likes. So yeah, so that's what she would want to do. But anyway, this is really cool. This is what I do, for example, because one part of my planning is that after January, like at the end of January, beginning of February, I take my wife on a date weekend where we just go two of us. To plan our year, which basically means we review our plans. By that time, I would have, done the yearly planning for myself, and it's this way I can, we can talk about it. I can talk about my plans, and she can talk about her plans.
Hmm.
And the best part about this is that when you start asking questions like why this, why that, like you start or like you start discovering that even the person that you know so well has some like hidden ideas or some hidden wants or needs that she or he didn't express before. So
Yeah,
it's
or
like
they grew to some new level. Yeah.
yes, exactly. So this way you discover new things. And I remember, like, one year it was my wife wanted to learn French, so it was like like we talked about it, and I was curious about why she would want to do that, and then what was her motivation behind it. So anyway, it's always fun to ask about it. So I think this kind of thing, that whatever you know, like you whatever you want to do, tell me, and let's listen and let's talk about it. Because as you said, some of the crazy ideas can be done, can be uh, uh, implemented. So maybe they're not that expensive when you think about it, or we do them a little bit differently. So uh, it's good to let our fantasy fly
Yeah,
away a
or
little bit.
just the crazy idea can be a tip, something that you can reshape to something more realistic, but that is totally yours and that
Mhm.
is aligned with your dreams or your plans or yourself.
Completely.
Another rule that we should follow is being honest with ourselves and going deep into reflection, auto reflection.
Hmm.
So, if you want to change something in your life, you need to get to know yourself better and reach your hidden subconscious intentions or internal conflicts. Because very often it is like that. I think there is a blog post on it in English as well, um, written by a psychotherapist, that if you want to introduce a change in your life, you have to expect that there will be a conflict of at least two forces fighting uh, with each other. And usually we are aware of one of those
Hmm.
things because this is something that we can see because we are aware of that. But there is something hidden. Very often there is something hidden that won't let us to proceed with the change or with the direction that
Hmm.
we took. So it's very important to, so, yeah, some people go to psychotherapy, but if someone is good in auto reflection, they can just deal with that problem themselves and find what is stopping them from doing something, or what is it that stops you or slows you down in certain things.
My friend and mentor Michael Hyatt, he has this course, Your Best Year Ever, and a book, Your Best Year Ever, which I really
Hmm.
recommend. And in one of the steps to making the 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 yearly reflection is to find your limiting beliefs, because sometimes you have these limiting beliefs that hold you down, that hold you, like, I will never be able to do this, or I will never be good enough in this, or I will never achieve that. And
Hmm.
of course, like as I mentioned, I will never be a professional tennis player. That's true. But it doesn't, it doesn't stop me from enjoying tennis, right? So it's find the limiting beliefs and see what you do, what you can do. And that's why it's important to realize that there are things that are holding you back, which are only in your head.
Hmm. That's true. Okay, now we have five ideas, or maybe we should do some small
Yeah,
break.
let's take a break with our sponsor, and our sponsor of
Yeah.
course is Nozbe, our favorite application, which is great for projects, tasks, and for goals, for setting up goals. And here Robert is saying that his strategy is to favorite projects that he would like to focus for a month. We'll get back to his ideas, to Robert's ideas, after the break. And let's see who can say something good about our application.
Some sort of project management software that could help me have set up a really trusted system.
JJ Robertson. I'm in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I am a holistic health coach focusing on weight loss and fat loss. And I've used Nozbe every day in my personal life and in my business life. So Nozbe really helped me out with organizing my life and keeping me focused. And in the past, with different businesses, I've used everything: Trello, Asana, all the major getting organized things. And I've always come back to Nozbe for my own personal use whenever I had a chance. I've always introduced Nozbe to different businesses because it just works.
It just works.
No, speech just works. Like, take our, like we've been doing this for the last 18 years almost. So we're about to celebrate 18th anniversary of Nozbe. So there must be something to it. Like there must be more Roberts out there.
Yeah,
JJ
and
Roberts. So
really, Nozbe is really practical tool for working with our goals and directions. It's really easy to create a project, and then if you already have ideas and steps that you think that you should take, then
mhm.
list those steps as tasks. Then you can give some tasks priority, some not. Then you can set some dates, but you don't have to. You can obviously set recurrence, because when you want to bring up some ritual or a change, we probably have to repeat things persistently. So yeah, recurrent every week, every day, every second Thursday, whatever you wish. Then it's really nice to create a task that will encourage you to follow the progress. Yes, so maybe every week when you do your weekly review, or every month if you don't want to be so intense with that, create a task, check the progress. Then you can go back to your goals, see how you are doing. Maybe there's something you want to change, adjust. Maybe you want to abandon something. Maybe you want, I don't know, to be a little bit less intense, or maybe to intensify something. It's really worth to have a tool, a little helper, a virtual assistant that will help you out with your goals and with your with the changes that you want to introduce.
Exactly. And this is this is why in the end, like after all this reflection, everything, I do then create projects for the things I want to achieve in the next year.
Hmm. Okay, so when you plan your year, please first don't raise the bar too high. Start with achievable goals. Don't be too harsh with yourself. Start small, and then you will be able to go further if you can.
Mhm.
But if you start with something really, really complicated, you'll be demotivated, and there is a big chance that you will fail. Because if you, I don't know, if you say, okay, I will be doing this every day, while you are not able to do this once a week, then it's 100% failure.
Oh man,
So,
I have so many friends, like especially again getting back to sports. I have so many friends who are like overdoing it. Like somebody is barely running and they already set the goal to do a marathon, right? So it's
yeah.
like it's too much. Or one of my friends, he decided to be more fit, so he signed up for um, CrossFit, and he started doing CrossFit 4 times a week. And I'm
Oi.
like, man, this is not sustainable. No, no, it's fine. 4 times a week, I'm gonna be strong. And of course, after like 3 4 weeks, it was done. Like he was exhausted, and it wasn't sustainable. Like
He didn't
it's
have time for anything else. That
exactly,
was.
exactly. And I remember, so to give you an idea, I remember when I started running back in 2012. So like many years ago, I started running. um, I started running because my neighbor, who was a runner or like more advanced runner than me, he asked me if I wanted to run with him. So we decided to run, and I think I told the story on the podcast already. We decided to run every Wednesday at 9 o'clock. So every Wednesday, just once a week, once a week, every Wednesday at 9 o'clock. So whatever the weather was or whatever happened in my life, I had to make sure that every Wednesday at 9 o'clock I was ready to run, because he was like, we agreed on this, right?
Hmm.
So it was just once a week. So just think about it, that after this run I felt great. Like I was making progress, I was running, it was great. And then if I happened to have a moment and some, inspiration to run on Friday, it was like a bonus. It was like, whoa, I did 2 runs this week. I'm great.
Mm.
Like, I wasn't, this just this once, like this once, running once a week was a very low bar, but, try running once a week. The consistency already helps you achieve a bigger consistency later.
Hmm.
And again, you have to imagine how it felt to do any other run. It was like, it felt like a bonus. It felt like I won the life. It felt so great to be able to do one additional run, or maybe sometimes in some weeks I did 2 additional runs. It was like, wow, I'm an overachiever right now. So really setting this bar lower is not setting yourself up for failure. It's setting yourself up to be able to succeed and to jump higher later.
Hmm. Yeah, iterations, as you said at the beginning.
Yes, iteration, exactly.
The second point I would like to mention is that we need to remember that uh, good habits are like they give less satisfaction at the beginning. They are not so cool and so, like here and now it's cool. No,
Yeah,
but they give,
mhm.
yeah, they give you a lot, but in the long term. Bad habits are tricky. They usually give us satisfaction here and now. That's why we get into them. But then in long term, they are probably counterproductive or against our health or against us.
Yeah, the
So let's remember about it.
yeah, the basic idea
And
is like when you have sweets, like you eat sweets, it's fantastic. The sweets are so good, but yeah, then your body is not really responding to them very well. But if you have to go to the gym, it's annoying. You have to go there, but in the long term, you're gonna be fit, so it's great.
yeah. So yeah, and the world now is like this. The culture, everything is
Yeah,
like this. That
instant
it
gratification.
offers us immediate gratification. We really are not able to be patient and to wait for this gratification. So we should try remember about it, to have it in our mind that bad habits are tricky and this is a trap. Don't go that way. Um, Third point is kind of similar to our first point. Let's not plan for too many changes at once. If we decide to learn French, then have Brazilian Botox, and then get to know new programming language, and I don't know, run a marathon, then we will probably fail because it's too much. We are not superheroes. We can focus on one thing. Yeah, probably your favorite book, Essentialism, would
Yes.
confirm that. But yeah, let's start with one. And once this habit, this ritual, this change will become a little bit automatic for us, we'll do it more like easily, then we can start with the second part or the second item.
I mean, our friend of the podcast, Derek Sivers, he wrote somewhere that if you want to be a master in something, you need a decade of practicing it. But if you stack up the decades, you can be master in 5, 6, 7 things. If you live long enough, because we as humans, overestimate what we can do in a year, but underestimate what we can do in a decade. But I think it's a good reminder that also throughout the year, if you have these 5, 6, 7 goals that you want to do, maybe just like Robert here suggested, you prepare these projects, prepare tasks there in Nozbe, but then you favorite right now the projects that you want to focus on this month, and then these are the ones that you see every day, and then you focus on these ones. And then once you get the hang of it, once you have the habits in place, and once everything is working there, or maybe once you have achieved some of the things, then you add another one, later down the lane. Like, it's 12 months, man. Like, the year is long. So um I think people make this mistake of rushing in and trying to do like all these goals, like, Chuck Norris. Like, how many goals do you want to do? All of them. So, so don't be like Chuck Norris and try to do them one by one.
Exactly. And don't focus on effort and on this discipline and sacrifices that are supposed to lead you to your goal. Instead, it's better to create a system that will make it easier to reach the goal, or get a tool that will make your goal more accessible, or get a skill set, get some knowledge that will make the goal more like easier and faster to achieve, right?
Completely. Like, I mentioned, I think on this podcast already, that when I set a goal, to run certain number of kilometers in a year, I looked at my calendar and I realized, okay, for example, when I bring my daughter to this practice, and I have to wait for her, in the meantime, I can just go for a run, and then I come back from the run. She has done the practice. Like, we can go home. So if I do this twice a week, this means I will have, run that many kilometers. Now we do something really special, and I'm really proud of it. On Tuesdays, I bring my youngest to gymnastics practice with my middle daughter, and with the middle daughter we run together. And yesterday, both of my daughters were very tired after school, because it was their first day of school after the holidays and everything, and they didn't want to go. And I said, no, 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 girls, like, we do sports. Like, this is what we do. And we have planned this in our calendar, that on Tuesdays we do this. And I promise you, you will feel great about it. And of course, they didn't, believe me. But we went out. First, the little one, she didn't really want to go to the gymnastics class. She was begging me not to go, but then she went. And then with the middle one, she didn't feel like running. So in the beginning, we started walking. And then after a walk, she was like, "Oh, Daddy, I can run now." So we started running, and it was fun. And then we came back to pick up the little one from the gymnastics practice, and she was like, "Daddy, it was so cool." And I was like, "Yeah, you see, because the best drug ever, the endorphins,
The
after you have done
endorphins.
sport,
Yeah.
they come later. You have to earn them. So and my only regret is that I haven't recorded her. To have a video of her saying I didn't want to go, but I went and it was great. Because then I
Mhm.
can show this. I would be able to show this video to her like in the future when she's like not up to speed. But that's the thing. These this way we have a structure, and this way we can do this together, and we have also this kind of social support that we all do this, like we depend on each other, like I have to bring the one to the practice, and we have to do the running with the other one.
Mhm. Yeah, also, I mentioned that we can get a tool that would make it easier. Recently, I wanted to read more, and I found an application where you have ebooks and audiobooks in one app. And then let's say I was reading an ebook, and then I got tired, or okay, I went to sleep. And then in the morning, when I was walking my dog, I wanted to continue, but obviously, you shouldn't be reading mm, books
By
while
walking.
walking. So then I just opened the app and I said, listen. And the app asks me, do you want to continue when you finished reading last night? And I just said yes. And it adjusts the moment of the book when I stopped reading. So I didn't know the tool like that, and I was so excited about it. And thanks to that, I read like many books last year. So a tool, a simple tool.
Yeah, completely. Like we always say that the idea is to lower the barrier of entry. So you have to prepare a system that makes, as Greg McEwen would say, execution effortless. Like it's like what to do to improve the situation, so that next time when you do it, it's easier for you. Like this, the same we do here with this podcast. We have talked about it, that we have a template for a project for this podcast, and we have these tasks, and we keep iterating on the template. We keep changing the template after basically each recording to make sure that it's even easier for us, that it's really effortless for us to create a new episode, to plan the new episode, to record the episode. I just came up with some improvements for our video guy Pavel, what we can do later in post production. So we keep improving, iterating, as I mentioned,
Mhm.
but also we keep making it easier on ourselves to be able to deliver a quality podcast for all of you, while not stressing about it, and not thinking, oh, now I have to do all this and all that before I even record the podcast, because actually the recording of podcast is the most fun, but all the tasks that you do have to do before that and after that,
And after that, yeah.
yeah, there are like so many things. So we keep trying to streamline this, and I think in everything you're doing, like in the habits you create, you begin to to work on these systems. Like it's the same, like, if you have your running shoes ready for you, you will it will be easier for you to run. If you, if your bike is always ready, you will be cycling more. Or but if your bike is like in the basement, hidden behind something that like, oh, I have to take out my bike now, so like you will just give up before you even start.
The truth. Yeah. Okay. So what? I think we said everything that we planned.
Completely. And again, having these systems and iterating on these systems will help you achieve your goals this year. Don't
But
stress about it.
also not only achieve, but also enjoy the process. Yeah.
Yes.
Because I think we sometimes it's better to enjoy the process and just doing and striving than to be happy with the just the effect.
And remember, like the journey is the ultimate destination. Like it's the journey is the thing. Again, I can't stress enough, I'm so grateful that for the last 18 years, almost, like I have been doing this. I have been doing Nozbe. I have been helping others get organized, and it's still fun for me. It's still exciting for me, and um, this way, I think we are doing it better. We're doing it like it's you know joy is really important. So and as I mentioned, getting to know yourself. So really, I do encourage you to reflect on past year and prepare this year a little bit. We in Nozbe, we on Fridays we have our free day where we do the weekly review and focus on personal development. In January, I will focus on Fridays to complete my yearly review, to be able to publish it on my blog, but also for myself again to get to know me better in next year.
Yeah, so thank you guys, and treat yourself fairly and well. Let go. Don't be afraid to abandon things. Appreciate the effort and enjoy the process. And yeah, just we hope that 2025 will be great for you.
Have a great one. Thank you for being an amazing listener of the No Office podcast. Every other Wednesday, we meet to talk about productivity and hybrid lifestyle because we believe that work is not a place to go, it's a thing to do. It's a special gift only to No Office podcast listeners. When you sign up for Nozbe using this link, nozbe.com/podcast, you'll get $30 of credits, which you can use to upgrade to Nozbe Premium. Nozbe helps thousands of smart business owners and their teams get their professional and private life organized in a single app in a simple way. And Nozbe is free for up to 3 active projects and 3 people on your team. So start today and claim your free bonus credits, which you will later need to upgrade to unlimited projects. Once again, thank you for being an amazing listener. Thanks for your support and for spreading the word about our No Office podcast and Nozbe. See you and hear you in the next episode, and in the meantime, claim your bonus credits here.